Hi there. This video will be about how to make a simple registration, login, and logout using PHP. Well, these are the files that we will be needing for this project. The home page where we will be redirecting the user when they're successfully logged in, the login page, the logout, and the sign up where we will be able to register for an account. Well, as you can see here, I've already made a CSS file for the styling. I won't go over it in this video, but I will leave the code in the description below. So first things first, let's go ahead and set up our database. I'll name it into test with a table name of account and 5 columns. And put this ID and set this to auto increment. Well, I will explain later on in this video why I set it into auto increment and for what purposes will the ID be. For now, let's just add the necessary information that we need to make this project. Name. Let's all set them to varchar and 254. Well, these are the max length of the characters that the database will be able to receive or to read. Okay, so now that this one's ready, let's go ahead and do our sign up page. Okay, so I've already linked the CSS file. Let's just do the data. Then go ahead to the form. Since you will be posting the values into the database. And let's do a heading, sign up, type read text, and a placeholder username. I'll just be adding line breaks for each input field so that they will go under each other or beneath each other so that it's more easier for the eye. Name, password, placeholder with password as well. Type, text, first name, first name. Okay, so let's also do a link here that will allow us to go to the login page. And I'm gonna do a paragraph here so that there will be an extra spacing. And then register. Just add a name for this one. Submit button. Okay, so let's go ahead and check that. There. I'm just gonna zoom it in. Okay, so let's do the same thing with the login, but we'll just change a few data and let's go ahead and delete this. We won't be needing this in the login. Change this to sign up. Register here in. So let's do the home page as well. Chef. This will allow us to log out. Okay, so now that's good to go. Let's check it. Oh, there's there. So what we gonna have to do is we need to add the values that we will be inserting in this input field into this database. Let's change this one. That's the wrong spelling. Sorry for that. Okay, so let's go ahead and make our connection to the database. I'm gonna name this in con, short for connection. What you're gonna put in here will be the database name. Well, since I've named it into test, I've put test. But if you name it like account or voting or inventory, then you have to change this into the name that you have given to your database. Okay, so let's add. Okay, so what this does here is that when this button is clicked, it will run the script that we will be providing inside this curly braces. Okay, and the script will be to get the values of this and store it into a variable and then transfer it to the database. To do that, we need to assign them to variables and get their values. Oh, sorry, not that. First name and the last name. Next, oh, by the way, what this does is it gets the value of this input field, the username, the input field with the name username, and this one it gets the value of the input field named password, and so forth, so on. Next one we'll do is to add this values into the database. To that, we need to create a query. SQLi query. This is the connection to the database. We need to make a connection first before we can add this data. That's why this comes first. Oh, into accounts, the table name, which is accounts, username, password, first name, and last name. Values, password. Now, there's another way to add this values into the database. This script is kind of not secured, but we're not gonna go over it in this tutorial. There will be another tutorial for um, data security. Okay, I think that's good. Let's just add an output that says registration successful. Successful. Okay, so what this does is it inserts these values into these columns in a table. As you can see here, there's the username, the password, the first name, and the last name. Yes, first name, password, first name, last name. It inserts this values or these variables instead that came from the values of this input field. Okay, so let's go ahead and try this one. Trash that. User, let's send to password. Oh, John Doe. Registration successful. Let's check that there. Now, if you remember, I told you earlier about this ID. Oh, what this does is that for each data that is being inserted in the database, we automatically assign a unique ID for that data. So, what does we need it for? Well, we're gonna need it. I mean, it's going to be easier for us to get the data or the information of the specific user or the specific row in this database. It also allows us to be able to edit this or to delete this easily, because if you don't have this ID here that auto increments with these options here that you can see in the left side, it does not appear. So you have to edit the table using this one. You have to edit it manually. Okay, so now that the user data is added into the database, let's go ahead and do the logins. Let's just copy this code here and paste it here. Oh, yeah, let's just list. Oh, it's still the same. We will be getting the value of this input field here, but it's just username and password. And then what we're gonna do next is a query that will select or search for an existing username. So, so what this does is it will select from the database the row with the same username that we have input in this input field, that we have entered in this input field. But there's one problem with this code. What if we have two rows that has the same username? What should we do about that? Oh, let's just cut this username and then assign it to row equals MySQL. Oh, let's cut this one as well. Start here. I fetch. Then we will be doing a count of the rows. So basically, what this does is it checks for an existing row that meets this criteria. It gets the number of this one gets the number of rows that has the same username, or that has this username that the user has entered in this input field. And and if a row returned, we will do this the script that we will be running here. And if the username doesn't exist, then let's just echo an error, username not found. Okay, So what we're gonna do next is we're gonna check if the password from the database matches the password that the user entered in the input field. Ah, we'll say post password or post password is equal to row password, then we will redirect the user to the home page. But if the password does not matches the password in the database, then let's just do an echo that says uh, invalid login. Okay, okay, let's try this one. Back to login. I said user here and the password is password. Let's try doing 1 2 3 4 5 6. Oh, 1 2 3 4 5 6. Yeah. It echoes an invalid login because the password for that user should be password. Okay, user. There. We have been redirected to the home page. So what we're gonna do next is we need to be able to log out from this one, from this page, and return to the login page. But first, we need to putang ina. Now we're in the home page. So what if we wanted to pass on the first name and the last name of the user? Well, that's where sessions comes in. It allows us to pass information across multiple pages. So how are we going to do that? Well, we're going to go back to our login script and we need to initialize a session. It's going to be a start, session start. Yeah. This will initialize the session and will allow us to assign a value to a session. For example, let's name this session name. And then this its value will be the user's first name and the last name. So we're just gonna get it from the query to row first name space last name. So it's just good to go. This will automatically, I mean, this will assign these values into this session that we can call in this page. So let's just save this and then let's proceed to the home page. Welcome PHP. I think we no longer need to create the connection for this one. So let's just go ahead and echo the session name. Oh, sorry. And let's do a line break here. But I forgot something. We should also initialize the session on this page. We need to initialize the session for each pages that we will be using or calling the session. Okay, so let's try this one. Let's refresh this. Oh, I think we need to create a connection. Or no, no, no. We don't need to create a connection for this. It's just that we need to go back to the login first. User. There. So you can see the user's first name and last name is already in the home page. So now the last thing we need to do is the logout function. How are we going to do that? Well, this is probably the most simplest and shortest code in this project. All we need to do is to end this session here, and we will automatically be logged out of this page or of this account. Let's try and do that. PHP. Let's to kill or to end the session, you just need to use this code, and this will go ahead and end the existing session that we have. Okay, and after we end the session, we will redirect the user to the login page. Okay, so let's try this. That, there we go. So thank you for watching this tutorial. Please don't forget to subscribe to be able to be notified for the next videos. Thank you.